Okay, great. So it's
Bill Nelson.
and tell me about what's the title of your book?
It's the Hollywoo's Hellfire Club. I'm the co-author, along with Greg Mank and Charles Hurd. Put together this. Do I want to look into?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Look anywhere you want.
All right.
Look anywhere you want.
So we put together this book that's about a closed drinking circle in Hollywood in the 30s and 40s, and it mainly revolves around this painter named John Decker, and they all reside at his house on Bundy Drive. And the Bundy Drive that is most famous for O.J. Simpson, you know, and all the exploits this group of raconteurs, and basically, to make long story short, they made the Rat Pack look like Boy Scouts compared to their exploits.
And how did you become interested in this topic?
I read this book called Minutes to the Last Meeting by Gene Fowler, and he was one of the Bundy Drive boys, as they were called. He was a writer, a script writer, and he wrote a number of books. And this book came out in the 50s, was his experiences with this group. And so what we wanted to do, my idea was to do an unexpurgated Minutes of the Last Meeting. All the stuff that Gene Fowler couldn't put in Minutes of the Last Meeting, we could put it in current day, contemporary.
What's the exact address? Do you remember?
Yeah, 419 North Bundy.
So that's Bundy and what?
Bundy and Sunset, about a half-mile north on Bundy from Sunset.
So there are three authors. What was your role in the book?
Well, what was this? It was a collaboration because all these authors are from different parts of the state or country. And what we wanted to do was join forces and make one book. We were all kind of going in different directions. And no one had really done anything on this artist, John Decker. So we all kind of got together and we have mutual interests on this one artist. And so we were all doing different projects. Greg Mank is more of the author because he's done a lot more books. So he's basically the catalyst when it comes to writing. So he did most of the creative aspect of it. He combined Charles and I's work in interviews and made it a cohesive theme throughout the book. Kind of.
Got it. What surprised you in your research, if anything?
The most surprising thing to me was the forgeries that the artist did. There's a Rembrandt that Harvard claims is in Harvard's gallery in Massachusetts. They have a Rembrandt. Turns out it's John Decker forgery. That we had covered. And the incest that went on, too, between Decker and his daughter. So, and then possibly Barrymore as well.
How did it affect you, researching, delving, and living in this stuff?
Well, anything you do that you immerse yourself in, I think you become infected with. So yes, it was emotionally did affect me deeply because you start thinking about these people. You like I said, you become infected with them, and so it's a lot of strong emotions on both ends. Because these guys were so extreme, it affects you extremely.
So did you end up committing incest?
Not necessarily. It affected me, but I wasn't. First of all, I wasn't around young children when I was doing the book, so thankfully, no.
Is this your first book?
Yes.
What surprised you about the process of publishing a book?
How long it took. I mean, I couldn't get over all the little things you have to do and the hurdles you have to jump through. You know, it took 10 years to get this thing done from start to finish. So it was a lot of ups and downs, a lot of emotional ups and downs, thinking it wouldn't happen, and then it happened. And you know, what really surprised me is you have a vision of how it's going to be, and then it ends up totally different. So it's a path you take, but and the journey you're on it's like going to Mecca. You know, it's not going there; it's the journey. Is the whole idea. You know.
How did it affect your real life?
Oh, I mean, it was my life in many cases. So everything I did affected my life because my whole life was centered around getting this book done. So everything I did was affected by it, by this book. The book was basically the focal point of my life.
And that took a toll? Or that energized you, or both?
Well, I think it did both in certain ways because it was such emotionals up and down, you know. The rewarding and satisfying aspect of getting it done and published, and then on the other hand, you know, going through the whole process of disappointments and the uncovering things, you know. So yeah, so I think it's like anything else, you know. It's one of those things that if you really put your heart and soul into it, you know, you're going to come out a different person.
What were some of the most interesting reactions you received to the book?
All the unique material we put in the book that no one had seen before, that got us praise in the Guardian of London, and a lot of people seen it have never seen these images before. A lot of Hollywood images that we used in my own personal collection, a lot of Decker paintings. And I think that surprised a lot of people that were jaded over the years, because a lot of people that are from Hollywood have seen it all, you know, and they were really surprised by what they saw in the book.